Hey guys, welcome back to the Snapring Chronicles. Today we're back at you with another Ratchet video. Today we have this Armstrong 3/8 Ratchet. But before, like always, if you find these videos in any way helpful or entertaining, could you give me a like and also subscribe to this channel? Okay, here we have an Armstrong 11-972, made in USA. This is the 3/8 drive, which could it be me, but it seems like these are a little bit harder to find. Like I went online and I saw like a lot of used ones, and they had a lot of half-inch versions, but I didn't see too many 3/8 versions of this for sale. Okay, this is one of the ratchets or companies that were acquired by Danaher also, and later on Danaher, I guess, morphed or was I don't know, taken into the Apex group, and it became Apex group. So let's just keep that in mind. Sadly, Armstrong, after many decades of being a company, an American company, American tool company, they called it a day after they were dropped by Danaher, by Apex Group. Not too long ago, maybe a couple years ago, they stopped making Armstrong tools. Hopefully, maybe in the future, somebody will pick them up and start making Armstrong again. Like I said, they have a long history of making tools and ratchets and stuff in the USA. Alright, so here we have some writing. It says, replace damaged or worn parts. Warning, keep clean and oiled. And this is a box head ratchet, so we have two screws holding on to the plate, and this is what one of the screws look like. I'm not sure if that's Loctite or something. It kind of looks like it's below the tip, so not sure, but possibly. And here's the other screw. The other screw also has that substance on it. Not sure what it is. Could be. It's probably most likely some sort of Loctite, since both of the screws have them. Okay, and to get these off, you're gonna need a bit. This is a hex bit. You're gonna need a 7/64 hex bit to get these screws off. Okay, and now the plate comes off. This plate is a good plate. It's pretty thick and hefty. You can see the thickness here. So good job on the plate and the writing on the plate. And here is the gear. Here's the gear. Not sure how many teeth this has. I didn't count them. I'll put it in the description, but seems like maybe close to 40, maybe 36, 40, 42, something like that. There's no quick release on this ratchet, so this is just a solid gear. And here is the ball T10. Looks like a small ball with not so great of a detent there. Peening job. You can see it was, I don't know, looks a little sloppy on the peening there. And here's an inside view of the ratchet. Here's the switch. The switch goes through the pawl and it's pinned in place on this side. Let me get a small punch, and here's my funky hammer. You know me, I always have small hammers around. Actually, I found this hammerhead. I bought it for like $1, and I put this this stick. I fashioned a handle. I haven't finished it yet. I need to clean it up and do a little bit better job, but it's working. Okay, so just take and here's the switch. This is what it looks like. The post is triangular, and that's going to come into play later with something interesting. And here is the pawl. I'm going to take this pawl out. Okay, underneath the pawl there's a ball and the spring. The spring that goes into that hole. Okay, let's take a look at the inside of the mechanism. Not sure what process they used to do this, but it looks really clean, and I'm not sure what kind of broaching they did here, or if it is broaching at all. I see there's a raised number 1 at the back, and it has like these marks here, these little circular marks, and they have them also on this part of where the gear sits, and it has like these little square cutouts here, and so it leaves like this little tip sticking, not sticking out or up, but it's just like a little ledge here. You see where the cutout, there's like a square cutout here. I don't know why they did that, but it looks really clean. It looks, I don't know. If anybody knows how the process of what they did here, could you shoot me a message in the comment? Because I don't think I've come across something quite like this before. Is it just did they broach it and then they did some extra machining to get all this stuff in there, to get the raised number 1, to do the cutout and all that other stuff? So it looks a bit like, you know, they put some time into this. Here's the front. It's recessed where the screws sit, and here's the leathers. They're raised leathers on and off, and it looks like there's like some pebbling on the back of the leathers here, which is another nice touch. And they have this cutout here for the switch, and there's some pebbling also here, and we have the arm and hammer for the Armstrong symbol here, which is nicely done also, and like I said, there's the pebbling here. Okay, here's what becomes interesting. The pawl. This has been well used. Some of the teeth are, you see the teeth are broken here. There's a couple of teeth broken over here. But it has 3 teeth per side on the pawl. Has a bat wing pawl, and if some of you guys who are into craftsmen might recognize this pawl off the bat, because here's a craftsman teardrop ratchet, also Danaher or Apex Group made in the USA, by the way. And here's the pawl from that Craftsman ratchet, and these pawls are identical. So the pawl from the Craftsman teardrop will fit into the mechanism for the Armstrong. And we take a look. The only difference is they even have the dot at the bottom of the bat wing. The only difference is that this has a little bit of a recess in it, so you can peen the switch over and it won't stick out too much. You can see the recess there. And this is flat, or there's like a little raised area here. But if you had to, they don't make these anymore. They stopped making Armstrong, and they stopped making Craftsman USA also, by the way. But since if you, like me, and you have a bad pawl in the Armstrong, you can, because these, you can find these anywhere, and they're pretty cheap. If you can find an American made teardrop 3/8 Craftsman, and the pawl is in good shape, and you got a bad pawl in your Armstrong, you can swap these out. And I did that before. I actually put the Craftsman pawl inside the Armstrong, and I tested it out. And if push comes to shove, you can get like a Dremel with a diamond, like a round diamond bit, and you can make a recess kind of like that one, so you can get the switch peened over better. See, this one has like a bit of a recess there, not too much, but I guess a little time with a diamond bit and a Dremel, you can get a recess on this pawl. But like I said, they're identical, the same ones. And by the way, this suffers also, the Armstrong also suffers from a problem that you see in the Craftsman with this pawl. For some reason, the pawl at the bottom here is not very well cut usually, and here in these indents here, they're not very well cut, so the ratchet kind of sticks when you switch it and you're ratcheting, and then you go to tighten. Like the pawls stick a little bit, like in the ratchet position, and then it kind of snaps back into the tightening position. And I experienced this with the Armstrong also, and I always experienced that with the Craftsman. So the good thing is that you can find a replacement pawl for your Danaher or Apex group ratchet. I don't think these will fit in the older Armstrong, because I know Armstrong, they had a ratchet like this, looks identical to this one, but I think before the Danaher period, those switches and pawls I think are different. I'm not sure. I think I saw a guy on YouTube. He had a half-inch version of this one, but his was older. He said his was from decades ago, but it looked similar. It looked the same handle as this one, and he said, and he took that one apart, and it didn't look, the pawl didn't look the same, and the switch post didn't look the same. So I don't know if this goes. Like I said, it probably doesn't go for all the Armstrong, the whole run of this ratchet. Probably just the most recent. This being probably one of the most recent runs. So, and they were probably making the Craftsman and the Armstrong concurrently, so they probably were sharing parts, and they shared the pawl for the Armstrong and the Craftsman. So that's just a little bit of a heads up in case, like me, you need to replace this. And as I said, they're out of business, so there are no parts for this. There's nowhere to send this. They supposedly have lifetime warranty, but you know, with these companies, it's once they're out of business, they don't want to hear from you. They might, who knows what, you send in something made in the USA and who knows what you'll get, if you can get anything at all. So, well, this video is a little bit long, so I'm not gonna put it all together, but maybe I'll just do a little bit of it just to show. I'll get the pawl in, and then from the pawl everything goes in pretty simple. So what I did is I got a little tweezer, and I put the ball on top of the spring, like that. Okay, and you take the pawl facing this way with the big hole towards the back, and you just put this, you just put it over the spring, and that didn't work because it knocked the ball out. Okay, let's try it again. I was trying not to make this into a 20-minute video, but there it goes again. Let me cut out and I'll be back. Okay, now you try to you move the pawl sideways like this, and you try to get it on top of the ball, and then mash it down like that, and then you turn it sideways like that. And from here, you just take your switch and you put it in. You put it in like that, and you repeen it around, and then you put your gear, and then you put your plate, and then you put your screws in the back, and that should be it. So, okay guys, so that's my teardown and some little information on these Armstrong 3/8 ratchets, model number 11972. Okay, till next time.